They all had red eyes and were laughing maliciously.
Oh,
and the
no.
appearance of the psychiatrist changed at times to the devil.
Oh,
He was wearing
no.
a black cloak and big horns.
Ah, such a devil thing to do, isn't it? Classic devil. Dead giveaway, really. No more, it's Joinen, and welcome to Animated Story. Not mine, just Animated Story. In fact, it's our animated story. This is a fairly new channel. They joined in March this year. They only have 2.5 million views in total, which for one of these channels is not that many. A lot of their videos have not that many views for these style of videos. We have like 10K, 12K, 12K. It's all roughly around that. Today we're going to be checking out My Mum Bought Me a Girlfriend. Now in the title, it actually says My Story Animated. I suspect it doesn't have anything to do with the actual My Story Animated channel.
Hi, my name is Kyle. I've been incredibly shy since I was a child. Even my little brother tells me this and constantly mocks me.
Okay. What? You sound and look like a fully grown man, and your little brother's like 12 years old. Little brother's just like, yeah, you're a bit shy, aren't you?
My mother thinks it's better than being a bully or a jerk. But the thing is, I'm a boy.
I thought he was about to say, but the thing is, I am a bully and a jerk. I've got it all, man. I'm shy, but I'm also a bully.
And I'm almost 18 years old. But I'm still friendless. And of course, I've never had a girlfriend yet. But one day, my mother solved my problem. I think I overdid it a little. We were about to graduate from high school. As expected, there were couples going there. Everyone has long been distributed. And I, as always, remained invisible to my classmates.
What? What are these words? Hold on. What did he even just say?
As expected, there were couples going there.
There are couples going there. What? To high school? As expected, there were couples going to high school? To going to the graduation?
Everyone has long been distributed.
Everyone has long been distributed. I'm not following, my dude. What does he mean?
And I, as always, remained invisible to my classmates. This was very upsetting to me. At first, I tried not to attach any importance to it, and even refused to go to the evening. But the closer the holiday got, the more I wanted to go to it.
The holiday? Is the graduation a holiday? This is kind of tough to follow. But also, I'm a little bit confused. You didn't want to go to your graduation because you didn't have a girlfriend? He's saying everyone in his class are in relationships except him, and he's sad because he can't sit with anyone at graduation. But that can't be true, right? Surely there's no class that just has like 100% dating rate. 50-50 distribution of people interested in the other type of people. Everyone pairs up perfectly, and then there's just this guy. Bad translations. I feel like this has been written in another language and has been like Google translated or something, but then like read out by someone who can just speak perfect English.
So one evening, I sat in my room and looked at the school yearbook. I suddenly realized that in the photo, I was always standing behind, almost never smiling. In short, I was really like a shadow. I wasn't even bullied because I became so unnoticed. Then my mother came in and saw the album and asked if I had decided to walk down memory lane. Then she called it cute, and I snapped.
It's not cute. I'm a shadow. I'm a shadow in the night. This is Batman. He's pretty much just Batman. He's gonna get filthy rich. He's gonna drive around a fancy car with guns on it. And he's gonna hire a butler, and he's gonna protect the night. He's always hidden. He's never seen. He is but a shadow in the school yearbook. I'm not cute, Mom. I'm not cute. I'm cool. Shut up, Mom. I'm not distributed.
I didn't decide to remember my school years, and you know why? Because I have no memories. I shouted to the whole room.
What? Mum's like, I decided to take a trip down memory lane. No, I didn't decide to remember things because I have no memories.
My mother was just in shock. It seemed to be the first time she had heard my anger. She gave me a little hug and told me everything was going to be all right. But I knew they were just words.
It annoys me how the eyes are in front of the eyes. Could you just move them back a layer? The pupils are like, in front of the lids.
The day after school, my mother sent me to the store to pick out a birthday present for my grandmother. I had no idea what to give her and got stuck in the tableware department, thinking maybe I could give my grandmother a frying pan that she wanted for a long time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good choice. If she wanted a frying pan for a long time, buy the frying pan. What's this got to do with things?
While I was thinking, this very pan was grabbed by some girl. I apologized and said it was mine.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my pan. I looked at it first.
Why hasn't it been bought yet? She asked me. I told her I was just going to buy it for my grandmother. Well, if only for Grandma, the girl said. And then she asked me to help her with a gift for her grandfather. Why, he's your cook. Since you also wanted to take this pan, I asked.
What? What are these words? You're speaking so confidently. You're speaking like perfect English. This is what it must be like as a non-English speaker learning English. You're hearing people talk and you're like, I know these words, but what?
She nodded her head. We left the store together, probably an hour later. All this time we wandered between the shelves and looked for the right thing. Her name was Mary. It was only when I got outside that I got a better look at her.
Oh, and you realized she was fine. I got a better look at this girl. She out here be buying a pan for her grandpa. I'm out here buying a pan for my grandma. We spent an hour pan shopping together. Doesn't take an hour. It's the perfect match, really. Looks like he was the only one who ended up with a pan, though.
She was incredibly sweet, and surprisingly, I was so comfortable with her. I didn't even act like an idiot when I first spoke to her. I just didn't know how to ask for her phone number.
Ooh. Say something like, maybe your grandpa and my grandma can, cook with their pans together sometime. Smooth. Super smooth. Dating advice with Joinen.
There was an awkward pause between us as we parted, and Mary, unexpectedly for me, was the first to ask for my phone number. I was beside myself with happiness. I went home with the pan in my arms. I think my smile didn't go away all the way. In the evening, I called her, and we chatted for another 2 hours.
Wow.
Later, I went to my mother and asked for some pocket money for a date. My mother bombarded me with questions about who she was.
Oh, this is so cute. This is such a classic rom-com here. Her pants are like 50 pixels smaller than her torso. Yeah, I think that's just their style. I think it's like that on all of their videos. They got these like boxy stomachs. Joinen, don't be a Debbie Downer. I was just saying it was cute. What are you talking about?
But seeing that I did not really want to tell, did not torture me and advised a cozy place where you can take your lady.
The cafe. All right, listen. I've got this really cozy place where you can take a lady. I call it the cafe. I smell sarcasm. I wasn't being sarcastic. It's actually cute.
I combed my hair, ironed my clothes, and took Mary to the cafe. I didn't know if she was so great or if I'd learned to joke.
What? I didn't know if she was so great or if I had learned to joke.
She looked me straight in the eye all night and laughed at my jokes. And I don't know how to tell them at all. After a delicious dinner, I walked her home and she kissed me. You know, I didn't think this was happening to me. It was too much like a fairy tale.
Oh.
A couple of months with Mary passed like a dream.
Whoa.
You already know that I went to the prom with my girlfriend.
You already know. You already know I went to the prom with my girlfriend.
My classmates were simply stunned by what they saw.
They were like, dang, boy, you picked up. You got this hot baby with a square torso. Both of your grandparents are into pans.
Thanks to Mary, she tried to look like a goddess. She was wearing a gorgeous evening dress. I was happy that this was the last impression I left of myself. Then it was time to go to college. Mary also planned to enroll.
Then it was time to go to college. Okay. Jeez, this story's like moving on. We're covering years.
And we started choosing together because we wanted to study together. At dinner, my mother asked about my plans, and I told her that the documents we have already submitted, waiting for an answer. My mother choked and asked, "What girl?" "Mom, what are you doing?" "With Mary, of course. You know we're together."
Oh, no. Oh, no. She's imaginary? It's all in his head? It's not real? Please, no. Don't tell me.
"We plan to study together," I told her. My mother suddenly got angry and said that she was a negative influence on me and I should break up with her. What? Why should I? I'm happy with her, Mom. We had a big fight that night.
Yeah, rightly so. He's been with her for how long? And now she's just like acting like she don't even know who she is, saying she's a bad influence. What? Was it her pan choice? You don't like the fact that she goes for Teflon when this is a stainless steel family? You know, she would have accepted cast iron, but not Teflon.
I couldn't believe that my mother would just want to take my first love away from me. Coincidence or not, we were supposed to meet her the next day to go to my friend's house for a party.
Why is that a coincidence? Doesn't really sound like much of a coincidence. Jeez, what a coincidence. I couldn't believe Mum wanted me to break up with my girlfriend, and just coincidentally, I was actually supposed to see her the next day. I think, look, I don't want to spoil anything here, but I feel like my mum bought me a girlfriend is maybe what's happening here. She like paid her to like catch up with her one time and boost his self-confidence or something. And then he really hit it off and he's going along with it. And then she's all like freaking out because she's like, oh no, I only paid the girl to like catch up with him for a little while. He needs to break up with her before he finds out that it's all fake.
But she said she was sick and couldn't go out. I was upset, but I said I would definitely visit her later. She refused, said she didn't want to infect me. She was ill the next day, and then again and again and again.
Oh, the money ran out. The mum could not afford to pay her to be the girlfriend any longer. This is so sad.
We almost stopped communicating, even on the phone. She refused to talk to me for more than a minute. I had no idea what was going on. I went to her house and her parents said that she had gone to her sister in another city and asked her to pass a note for me.
Wow.
It said that she didn't love me anymore and she asked for my forgiveness.
Forgiveness? Your forgiveness? That is brutal. I smell many, many years of therapy. Yeah, especially if you found out that your mum paid for it.
I couldn't believe she'd done this to me. How? We made plans. I came home incredibly broken. I was so sick. I didn't even know what was hurting me. I only felt that the focus was somewhere in the chest area.
Okay, here's my advice, my dude. You gotta start a really long anime. I'm talking One Piece, maybe Naruto. Start from the beginning, work your way through. At least for that moment. While you're getting engrossed in a story, the pain will subside.
I was constantly gasping for breath and could barely hold back my tears. I didn't speak to anyone for a few days, and then my mother came into the room to find out what had happened, and she said she was sorry it had happened.
You're not sorry. You're not sorry, Mom. You wanted this. You told him to break up with her, and then she just happens to break up with him that same day? Little bit fishy. Mother, are you even my mother?
A week later, I received an answer from the college. I entered, and it made me happy, although it reminded me of her. I planned to leave as soon as possible and start a new life. On the day I left, I decided to go to the same store to buy some dishes for college. And yes, I saw Mary there.
And yes, of course. I mean, I saw her there last time, so naturally I would see her again this time. Was she still looking for a pan? I guess she never did buy that pan, did she?
She was standing by the frying pans, holding the one that had made us meet. I was confused. My heart was pounding in my chest. I didn't know what to do.
Looking at another pan, there she was. I saw her in horror. She was with another pan.
While I was rushing around, she saw me, and in surprise, she dropped the pan on the floor. She started to run away, but I shouted, "Mary, wait!" Then I went to her, and she was crying, and she couldn't say anything. "Why are you crying? And why did you leave me? You don't love me anymore?" And she couldn't say anything.
Oh, this is too emotional. This is too emotional. He was finally distributed.
I wanted to hug her, but then my mother came into the store.
What?
She was waiting outside in the car. "Son, did you buy everything?" she said, and saw us.
What? What is this? What is this face you're pulling right now? This is too creepy. Look what you've done to your own son. Why are you smiling like this? I thought you were better.
Mary suddenly screamed and cried even more, and then ran to my mother, threw the envelope in her face, and ran away. There was money in that envelope.
$100? There was $100 in it? This was like many months long stint, and she got paid $100? I say not worth.
I asked my mom what the hell was going on. How did she know my ex-girlfriend? My mother took a deep breath and told me everything. It turns out that she hired her to go to prom with me.
Yep.
"You were so alone, and I wanted to help you. I paid her. The plan was very simple, but it got out of hand."
Yeah, it got out of hand. You're a terrible mother. You are a terrible mother.
"She was only supposed to go to the prom, son. I didn't think you'd fall in love with her so much. And then she told me that she didn't want to leave you because she really loved you. I got angry and chased her away. I said that I would not allow you to meet."
What? Why? Mother, you started off as bad, and now you've just gotten worse. I do not see the issue here. They both love each other. For real. What's the mother's problem?
God, I couldn't believe it. I was so mad at her. "Thank you, Mother, for your service. What she did to you is so bad that you are against her." "Well, you hired her for me," I cried, and ran after Mary.
I ran after Mary. I ran really fast. I'll get there one day. The running ruins the mood of the story, not gonna lie. You literally ran faster. Don't judge. Not everyone is as athletic as you.
She begged me to forgive her. My girlfriend admitted that at first it was a game, but she fell in love with me sincerely.
What a classic. Like, that is such a classic movie situation to be in.
Without thinking, I suggested that she pack up and go to college with me, especially since Mary was also accepted to study. When we went to my house together to talk to my mother,
The in-sync walking. That's where I draw the line. That was too creepy.
I explained that I really loved her. I apologized to my mom for yelling at her, but I thanked her for changing my life so drastically. I know you meant well, but it turns well. I'm happy, and we really love each other, I told her. My mother started crying, and then told us to come home and visit her more often.
Hello, everyone.
What? What just happened? Who is this woman? In a completely different art style?
My name is Mary. Let me tell you my unusual story.
What? No. Why would I sit around for your unusual story?
In general, since my childhood, I was an ordinary child.
You were an ordinary
from my other peers.
child.
Everything would be fine, but one day when I came home from school, I saw my parents. In fact, they should be at work at that time. Their faces were agitated. It really scared me. I immediately went to them and find out what happened.
Hold on. Pause. Hold up. Wait a second. Was that the end?
And then told us to come home and visit her more often.
Hello.
You don't even want to add like a second in between these two stories.
When he started the conversation, he kept looking at me. Asked how we were doing in the family. Is nothing unusual happening? I knew it wasn't just that. Then he asked me if I noticed any strange things in my life lately.
Hold on, who's this guy? You're sitting down with your parents. He's asking you if you've noticed any strange things happening.
It was still the same as usual.
Is this the same Mary? Was the other girl's name Mary? Is this like the background story of Mary? Is this her perspective?
Later I find out that this was not a friend of my father, but a psychologist. But why and for whom this appointment? I didn't understand.
Wait, so your parents surprised you with a surprise psychologist?
In a moment, I noticed that James was looking at me with an unusual look. You could even say demonic look. His
Demonic.
eyes were bright red, and his brows were furrowed like the devil.
Oh,
this
no.
scared me very much.
Wait, he's the devil? I'm confused. Is it the girlfriend? I believe this is a completely new story. There's only like a few minutes of it left though, so I guess I might as well see where this devil story is going.
After the conversation, we drove home in silence. And I was not happy because it seemed like my parents had cheated me about the psychiatrist.
Right, so the parents, took her to a surprise psychiatrist that turned out to be the devil?
That seemed to be the end of it. I also continued to go to school and do my own things.
That seemed to be the end of it. Cut. Next story.
On the next day, when I came home from school, I saw the psychiatrist at our house. They were talking about something. When James saw me, he smiled maliciously. His eyes were still red. I noticed fangs and teeth, like he looked like a vampire. I got scared and yelled at him. "Get out of the house, you devil!"
You devil! You devil! You look freaking creepy!
And ran quickly to the room and locked myself in. My parents ran after me. They were calling for me and shouting for me to open the door. It wasn't like them. They had never even raised their voices to me before.
Ooh, they're under the psychiatrist's entrancement. They fell for his spell.
Mom began pounding viciously and harder and more furiously, and Father laughed in the background. It seemed that the door was about to break.
Laughed? What? While they're karate chopping the door, he's like, Does sound pretty scary.
Quickly jumped out under the bed, and I jumped out of the window and ran quickly away from the house.
That's not a window. That's a painting.
I didn't even notice that I had already run for several...
Did you see that?
I didn't even notice...
What? Just absolutely leaps out of the window. Whoa.
Sitting down to catch my breath, I began to think about what really happened. Only one thought kept repeating itself, that this psychiatrist was actually a devil in the guise of a man.
Yeah, that is the only possible thing that makes sense. He was a little bit scary, and he's a psychiatrist, and your parents started raising their voice. So he must be the devil!
It was like an epiphany.
Oh gosh.
I hated James very much.
James?
And the plan matured.
With just a subtle drop of his name there. His name's James.
After thinking it over and calming down, I went home. When my parents were already asleep, I went quietly to my room and fell asleep.
Love the
I
animation.
woke up from the fact that my mother woke me up.
I woke up from the fact that my mother woke me up.
They all had red eyes and were laughing maliciously,
Oh,
and the
no.
appearance of the psychiatrist changed at times to the devil.
Oh,
He was wearing
no.
a black cloak and big horns.
Such a devil thing to do, isn't it? Classic devil. Dead giveaway, really.
Sharp, bloody fangs protruded from his mouth. I broke away from my mother and ran to the kitchen. She grabbed a knife and tried to stab James.
Who did? She? Did you just switch perspectives? You said I ran to the kitchen. She tried to grab a knife and tried to stab James.
But just as my father grabbed my arm and pulled me back, I lost my balance and fell to the floor and lost consciousness. I didn't wake up until morning in the hospital. I saw 3 men in white coats standing over me. I couldn't move because my hands and feet were tied.
Okay.
And her mouth was taped shut,
This story has absolutely zero chill. We have 1 minute left of it.
probably to keep her from screaming.
It happened again. It said probably to keep her from screaming.
One of them took out a syringe and gave me an injection. After that, everything began to blur around me and make me sleepy. Falling asleep, I saw the silhouette of the devil on the wall. When I woke up, I saw my mom and dad.
Oh no.
She sat next to me on the bed and looked at me anxiously. When I came to myself, I thought it was over. And
When I
James
came to
won't
myself.
bother us again. Later, the doctor came and said that I have schizophrenia.
Oh, okay. What? You gotta be kidding. This was a fun little, scary story. Oh, I was seeing the devil. My parents, they were being manipulated by the devil. I actually tried to kill him. I grabbed the knife and, I had schizophrenia.
And in addition to this, I have learned that I often scream in my sleep lately. But I didn't believe the doctor. I felt quite well, and with the exception of recent events,
Like
I
and
didn't
subscribe.
notice anything unusual. But the doctor still prescribed some pills and ordered a trip to the psychiatrist who was in the same hospital.
Oh, it's gonna be James. It's gonna be James.
This psychiatrist turned out to be quite a good and solid person. He asked me if I was feeling all right. He seemed quite a nice man.
Okay.
But in an instant, I saw his eyes flash red.
Oh, okay. Cliffhanger. What a trip this channel is. There was nothing about that story in the title, even in the description here. The description, this whole thing is literally just the text, the first 2 paragraphs of the voiceover. There is nothing in this title or description or anything about that little bonus story we got at the end. Do you really need to put 2 stories into one video? Yeah, it's because the second story wasn't long enough to add mid-rolls. So they had to jam it into the first one so they could get more money for the video. I mean, anyway, if you guys want me to look at this channel again, then just let me know. They've got a lot of weird ones. Look at this. The devil lives inside my father. I was buried alive. It's my fear. Okay. The rest of us wouldn't be very scared in that situation, but because it's your fear, I understand. Anyway, get some of the sweet lemon carton merch in the description below. It's got a cute little lemon carton on it. And make sure to come and join the Twitch stream there. Now I don't sound like such a boomer for saying the Twitch. At joinen.tv/joinen but on Twitch, where we film these videos live every weekday at 1 p.m. AEST. And I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for watching my video, but now that it's done, please watch another one.